everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time, but I'm not going to make a super long drawn out intro because nobody cares and I'll talk about it in the future. So today's video is going to be kind of a day in my life of how I run my Etsy shop. I opened my jewelry shop on Etsy in January and it's been growing very fast. I'm kind of growing out of my space as well, but I wanted to share how I run my Etsy shop in a small space, kind of the process I go through, how long it takes me, what I do to set myself up for a successful week with my Etsy shop, and yeah, I thought that this would be interesting to see, so let's get into it. First, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my Etsy shop. I actually have an Etsy shop and a website. I sell two different types of jewelry. I have hoops that are beaded with different phrases and words. That was my original idea and the main thing I started selling. Then I started making jewelry, earrings and necklaces, mostly earrings. That's something I really love to do, and that has become kind of the other side of my jewelry shop. So in this video, I'm showing you basically 2 days of my process. So for this particular, I guess, shipment I was filming, these were orders from Thursday to Sunday morning. I started packaging probably around noon on Sunday, and that carried on until about 9 p.m. on Monday, which is whenever I filmed that. I will take a few days worth, usually over the weekend whenever I have a collection. I will take those days and just work for 2 days straight to package everything and get everything shipped out. In this shipment, it's probably 70 to 80 orders, which is a typical weekend shipment for me. When I do my shipments, I just schedule a pickup through the postal service. They just come and pick up my packages for me, and I do that typically on Monday or Tuesday for the weekend orders, and then I usually skip one day and then I start working on the next weekend basically. So the reason that I constantly have orders in my Etsy queue is because I also sell the hoops. So even though my collections sell out relatively quickly, I'm able to kind of sustain that growth throughout the week, because if I have a collection on Thursday or Friday and I get like over 100 orders just for that collection, if I was only selling those collections, I would only have those 100 or so orders. But since I also sell the hoops, I have sales throughout the week to ship, which usually accumulates to around 30 to 50 orders each week just for the hoops. That is why my growth seems so quick and high, I guess. If you don't know that I'm selling hoops, it may seem bizarre that my shop is growing so quickly and my revenue is so high and my shipment, I guess, amounts are so high. That's because I also ship the hoops and I sell a lot of them, so that's why. I hope that makes sense. So now I'm going to get into the actual clips, and I'm just going to be speaking over them to show you what's going on, and I'm just going to show you my process. So to start, I want to show you a little overview of my small little workspace. I set this up recently. Before, I was actually working out of my sister's room. She had like a little workbench in her window, but that has since left, and I had to set up a little space for myself. I love this little workspace. I feel very motivated and I feel like I get a lot done here. However, it is pretty small considering how often I'm working here, and I am starting to outgrow it. I do actually have a little shipping room because I do have 2 small businesses that I ship things from my home. So I do have a little shipping room that I don't really use for my jewelry business because I find that I'm not as productive in there, which is weird, but I just feel more creative and productive in this little workspace. And since the jewelry that I ship is pretty small, it doesn't take up too much room, so I prefer to work on this little desk. So to start, I am just showing you how I set up my workspace. I'm writing down my goals and my to-do for the day. I like to take a minute to write down my goals for the day so that I can feel good about accomplishing things. It helps me stay on track and be organized because the feeling of crossing off something from my to-do list is very rewarding for me, and it's one of the main things that keeps me motivated is shortening my to-do list. So I like to take a few minutes to do that every day. And whenever you run a business from home and you're in a small space like I am, it can be difficult to organized and make sure that you're on task instead of getting distracted by other things in your house, which is what happens to me all of the time. So I don't know how everyone else runs their Etsy shop and how they fulfill orders, but I found the easiest way for myself is to just open up the little notes app in my MacBook, and I go through my Etsy orders and I find the ones that I'm able to fulfill that day. So basically in my notes app, I just write the name of the person and I try and use the shipping name, not the name on the order, because they're often different. So I look at the shipping address and I write down that name, and then I just use some bullet points to write down a brief description of the items. Since I make all these by hand, I kind of know what piece I'm talking about, so I just write like a little description to remind myself what items they need. This has always worked for me. I've never accidentally sent someone the wrong order. If you needed kind of an idea for how to ship orders, this is a method that really works for me with a large amount of orders. So now I'm just showing you how I buy my shipping labels. I buy them all right in Etsy. I just select the listings I'm ready to ship, which are the ones that I wrote down in my notes app, and I just purchase the labels and ship them or print them right through Etsy. I have a DYMO label writer for XL. I got this maybe a month and a half or so ago, and it has saved me so much time. It's very expensive. I think I paid about $200 for mine. On sale, normally they're almost $300, I believe. I haven't had any issues with it, and I've also used 3 different brands of labels and I haven't had a problem with any of them. So I have been really enjoying it. It makes printing labels super easy because you don't need ink, and I can print like 100 labels in like 10 seconds. So that has made everything a lot easier for me. I can link that below if you're interested, as well as the labels that I use. Now I'm making my beaded hoops, and these are the ones that I make to order, so the ones that I write down in my notes that I'm ready to ship. Sometimes I'll run out of a certain letter bead, like today I ran out of E's, so I actually couldn't package all of the beaded hoops I have, but I just have more letter beads coming. I run out of letter beads so fast, and sometimes I don't notice, so I constantly am running out, which is a problem, and I hope to figure out how to solve that in the future. But for now, I just package the ones that I can. I just look at what word it is on the hoops and I see if I have the beads for it, and those are the ones I do for that day, and the rest of them I save for whenever I get more beads in. Now I'm just showing you how I wrap my orders. For my smaller hoops, I usually cut this Kraft paper in half. This is just 8.5 by 11. Pretty heavy craft paper. It's pretty thick. I will also link this paper down below because, again, trial and error, I've found a brand I like, and I like using this because it's not bleached, it's not dyed or anything. It's heavy enough that it protects the earrings and I don't have to use bubble wrap, but it's also aesthetically pleasing because my brand, I like to use a lot of neutrals and browns to kind of go with the brassy gold tones I use, so it matches my aesthetic, but it also protects them. Then I'm showing you how I actually package each order, and I use biodegradable materials for the most part, like obviously my Kraft cardstock type paper. The cardstock I use for my jewelry backing is just plain Kraft brown cardstock. I also use biodegradable mailers. I will link the brand I use below. These are from the brand Bubble Fast, and they have completely biodegradable mailers. They're brown, which works great for me. I actually like how they look, and I just feel better about it since I ship so many packages. I was feeling really uncomfortable with the amount of plastic I was shipping, so I got these. They're a little more expensive than buying plastic mailers, but for me it's worth it, and I feel like they work better, and I haven't had any damages with these mailers like I have in the past with just plain poly mailers. And now I'm just printing the orders to package. I think I got distracted by filming because it was a little distracting having a camera in front of my face, and I did miss some, so I ended up having to individually print a few orders that I missed whenever I was printing my big batch at the beginning. Luckily, while I was filming, I actually ran out of that Kraft paper I was just talking about, and it showed up right at my door whenever I ran out. So that was perfect timing because I was totally out of Kraft paper, and I was also filming a video, which was kind of awkward. Here we are done. I have, I'd say 2.5 bags. This is just from the weekend. So probably I'd say like 80 or so orders. This bag isn't stuffed, but these ones are like bursting at the seams. And then I just schedule a pickup. Ignore the trash on the ground. Those are the backs of my labels, and I just throw them on the ground because, you know, I'm a mess, I guess. But yeah, I just do a scheduled pickup, and then this is my weekend, I guess, shipment, you could say. This is all from Thursday to Sunday, and this isn't all of Thursday to Sunday. I have about 60 orders sitting in my Etsy queue that are for pieces that I didn't pre-make. This is day 2 of what a weekend shipment looks like. So now I'm just actually gonna take a little break. I decided to go outside, which was a mistake because it's like 94 degrees today and blazing sun, but I decided to go outside on a little walk with my sister just to get out in the air because I have been in my little office area for 2 days now, only working nonstop, so I just needed some air. is really important whenever you're a small business owner. It can be really easy to get stuck in your routine and constantly work and never give yourself a break. So I'm really bad at that, but I'm working on it. So here's me taking a little break. Now I am back inside and back to work. I'm actually just organizing my setup a little bit after I package my orders. Things can get a little bit messy, so I'm just cleaning out my drawer, organize my supplies, cleaning off my tabletop so that I have room to work on some earrings that I have to make. I usually pre-make all the earrings for my collections, but this time I had a bunch of astrology zodiac sign earrings and I didn't make them ahead of time because there was so many. So I'm just making them for the orders that I have for them. Yeah, I'm just gonna show a little bit of how I make my earrings. This was kind of difficult to film. I feel like I kept messing up because I was filming, which is weird, but I think it was just a little bit intimidating to film it. And as you can see a little bit through my video, I guess, I had to put some braces on. Actually, I made one earring and then had to put my brace on because my hands were hurting really badly. I do still have some mobility issues with my hands and my wrists and my arms and my shoulders. So I do get pretty worn out with jewelry making and my hands and arms do get really sore. I was really sore and it was really painful, but that is the reality of things. I love making jewelry, but it is a little bit more difficult for me because of the mobility issues that I have. I hope in the future to make a video about how I make jewelry, like really detailed, maybe whenever I have a bigger space, a better setup, but I would like to make a video to maybe help other people who have, I don't know, arthritis or just other joint problems in their hands, to encourage them to still try. I actually really wanted to make jewelry for a really long time, but I can't hold a lot of things and I have trouble holding small things. So holding pliers is really difficult for me, but I have found some that have a bit of a better grip on them and I just hold them a different way than normal. It does take a lot longer, but if I just use my palm and I hold them kind of in a fist rather than holding them like scissors, I guess, that tends to work better for me. But anyway, I will make a whole video about that one day to hopefully help other people, because I was someone who didn't do it because I was scared, and then I did it and ended up really loving it. So hopefully that's kind of some encouragement. It is difficult, it's harder than it probably is for other people, and it does take a lot longer, but it's something that I really love to do and I really enjoy, so it's worth it to me, even if I do have a bit more pain with my hands. If I'm doing something I really enjoy, that makes it worth it to me. And this is what my day is like. I just spilled these tiny joke rings everywhere in my desk that I just cleaned. So yeah, really exciting, but luckily they are steel, so I can just pick them up. Not one-handed, but you get it. Now I'm just showing you some of my boring computer work. This is basically where I go in and I do my QuickBooks. I love QuickBooks. There's a self-employed version. It's by Intuit, which runs TurboTax and all that stuff. I love QuickBooks. I recommend it for everyone. I will link it below if you are an Etsy owner and you need one. Etsy does have the option to just integrate them, but it does cost money and I prefer just to get the regular QuickBooks and do all my bookkeeping myself. I try and do this every week, depending on how much stuff I'm buying that week. I don't have to do it as frequently anymore because I did change my deposit schedule to weekly instead of every day, which is what it was before. So my bookkeeping isn't as frequent, but I definitely try to do it at least every other week, if not just once a month. You should be doing this every month to make sure that you're aware of where your spending is going. And it's just really great for calculating your profit and loss and making sure that you're running a successful Etsy shop. Then I'm showing my little Excel sheet. I recently changed up my packaging, which it's always been similar, but I've kind of solidified my packaging in the sense that from now on it's going to be the same instead of, you know, trying different materials. I finally found the things that I want to keep as my branding, so I decided to update my Excel sheet with my cost per package. I will talk about this in a video where I kind of detail some tips for Etsy sellers. I want to do that in the future, and I will show you exactly how I do this, but for now I'll just talk about it a little bit. Basically, I'm just breaking down how much it costs per piece per order that I ship. So that is each single piece of paper, each single business card, each single jewelry card, each sticker, each organza bag that I use, each jewelry bag, all that stuff. I'm calculating how much it costs, basically a few cents each. However, it does add up. For me, it costs about 80 to 90 cents depending on which bag I'm using, which doesn't seem like a lot, but whenever you're shipping, you know, 60 to 80 orders a week, it does really add up fast. So it's an essential part to track your expenses like this. You don't want to just track the total you pay for. So if you pay $10 for a pack of tissue paper, you don't want to just count the $10 as an expense. You want to also count each individual piece in its own category so that you can keep track of how much your packaging costs, so that you aren't spending more on packaging than you're making on the products. So yeah, that was about 2.5-ish days in my life of how I run my Etsy shop and all of the things that go into it. There's a lot that goes into running my Etsy shop. This is just a small portion of it. There's so much more, like planning collections, sketching out designs, ordering supplies, doing pictures, editing photos, making Etsy listings. There's so much that goes into it. It's not just posting pretty pictures on Instagram. However, you should follow my Instagram because it's very aesthetically pleasing. But that's all for today. I hope this was, I don't know, insightful of what it is to run a small Etsy business, and just showing you kind of my process. Maybe it'll give you some ideas if you are another Etsy seller or you have a jewelry shop or something like that. So yeah, that's all for today. I'm definitely going to make another video like this showing the other side, because this is kind of half of it of how I run my Etsy shop. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I will hopefully see you in my next video. I'm feeling very inspired to upload more. Don't know where it came from. I think I'm just bored, but I'm hoping to post more. If you didn't notice, I did change my YouTube name. It was Chronic Beauty. This was mostly a beauty channel, and I talked some about chronic illness, so I kind of mushed the two together. That name will always have a place in my heart, and I still identify with that name, but I want this to be more of a lifestyle channel, so I can just post whatever I want, basically. I don't want to have to focus on makeup because I don't really care about makeup at the moment, or haven't for a while, hence why I haven't posted. So if you're not interested in that, I totally understand. You can unsubscribe, but hopefully you will stick around because I have some fun videos planned. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble anymore. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Also, my Twitter, Instagram, my shop, my website, and my Etsy storefront will be linked below, so you can go check them out if you want. Thank you. thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day, week, I don't know. I hope you're staying inside and wearing a mask and being safe. Yeah.